And welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. I really hope you can't hear the dishwasher running in the background. If so, please ignore. But yeah, I miss doing reading vlogs, and like I said in my last video, I am planning some more themed vlogs, but those are gonna take a while. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna do spontaneous reading vlogs here and there. So yeah, hello, welcome. Also, a little side note before I begin, I am doing Invisalign, and this is something that I've never really shared here, but I am doing Invisalign, and usually whenever I film, I take it out before starting the filming process, but this time I'm just gonna keep it in. You know, if I have a lisp, if I talk weird, that's why. And let's get straight into my reading goals, I guess, for the week, reading progress, what I'm reading. As of right now, I am reading Love in Color by Bolo Babalola, which is a book that I've had on my TBR for maybe 2-3 years, and maybe now I do understand why I've been postponing it for so long, because this is a romance book. This is not the traditional romance book, but it's still romance short stories, and they're based on mythical characters and mythical stories, especially African mythology. And I guess maybe that's why I've been postponing it, because I know it's romance stories, and romance is not really my favorite genre. For physical reads, this is the only one that I'm reading right now, and I'm still in the beginning. And my plan was to finish this one in July. Today being the last day of July, which is just not gonna happen probably. But I was hoping to read more this past weekend, and I ended up not reading that much. So it's okay. I will finish it maybe in the first couple of days of August. As for audiobooks, the one that I'm listening right now is called Yes Daddy by Jonathan Parks Ramage. And this was is our book club pick for July for the 20-something book club. And I was also hoping to finish this audiobook in July, but I don't think it's gonna happen because I still have like 3 hours of the audiobook. Maybe I'll finish it tonight, but I also don't want to rush it because it's the book club book, and it's a very hard book to listen to as of right now. This book is basically about our main character, Jonah. He's a young man. He moves to New York to follow his dream of becoming a playwright, and while he's trying to make that dream happen, he's also a waiter at a cafe. Okay, so I just got a package in the mail, but before I get into that, because I will show you, I am just gonna finish explaining the plot of the book. But basically, one day Jonah finds a picture of a very famous playwright who is called Jonathan, I think. And it kind of becomes his mission to get in touch with that Jonathan and to kind of maybe start a relationship with him. And let's just say that the relationship is not healthy at all. And obviously there's an age gap, there's an abuse of power, because one person is very famous and the other one is not so famous and kind of poor. It just goes into a whole myriad of very hard topics to read and to listen to, because I am listening to the audiobook, and it's very graphic. Please look at the trigger warnings for this book, which was something that I did not do and I should have done. It's a very hard book to read. Maybe I will finish the audiobook now, because I do have some entertainment to do with the audiobook playing in the background, which is what I just got in the mail, which I'm very, very excited about. And let me open it and show you. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Okay, this one comes in a box. I don't know if you can tell by the sound of it, but basically earlier this month I did get tickets to the Eras tour in Lisbon, Portugal. It was really hard. I really thought I wouldn't get tickets because it was just being a very painful process, but after maybe an hour and a half in the queue, I eventually got tickets, and I can't tell you how happy I am to go to the Eras tour. I'm just over the moon happy. I'm so excited for it, and that's why I'm gonna start making friendship bracelets. Which is stupid, I know, because the concert is in May of next year, so We almost have a year still to go, but I just want to take my time with the friendship bracelets. I want to kind of perfect my craft. So I'm gonna start doing them now. Maybe they're shitty, but I will eventually perfect my craft and I'll make wonderful friendship bracelets to give out on May 24th. If you're there, I want to give you a friendship bracelet. But yeah, I got a bunch of things. I got this pack, and then I got this pack, which only has like well, it does have some like normal beads, but it also has like some fruits and some just flowers and smiley faces, and it's really pretty. And then this one is kind of all boxed up, but this is only letters because I do want to make a lot of friendship bracelets that like have song titles and just like random phrases from the Swiftie world. So yeah, I just want to have options. So I got 3 different packs to make friendship bracelets, and yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so happy now. I didn't know they were coming in today, so this just greatly improved my day. I have a lot of stuff to do now. But actually, I was thinking, and it's not only for the Taylor Swift concert, I'm also going to a Taylor Swift party in maybe 2 weeks. I think it's in 2 weeks. There's like a club here in Lisbon that is organizing a big Taylor Swift themed party, and I think I'm gonna bring some friendship bracelets also over there. So yeah, it will be for that firstly, and then the concert a couple of months from now, almost a year from now. I'm gonna maybe listen to the audiobook today and do some friendship bracelets like tries, I guess. The first ones won't be good, I just know it. So yeah, also I'm wearing my Taylor Swift t-shirt today. Wow, amazing. This was just perfect. Everything is aligning. And also another thing that I want to mention before I go is that today I'm actually hosting some reading sprints. So by the time you watch this, the reading sprints are over. I just decided, since it's the last day of the month, I just want to get as much reading done, and also today I just have the whole day free and I have nothing to do and no one to see, and I'm just all alone. So I'm gonna just host some reading sprints. Lucia is also joining me. I will leave her channel down below. And yeah, it's gonna be fun as well to get some reading done. Where's my book? Hopefully I'll read some more of this on the reading sprints. And actually my initial plan was to read during the weekend, and since today is the last day of the month, I would do the reading sprints today to finish this book. But I just know I'm not gonna finish this book because I basically read nothing the whole weekend. I was just so busy watching Barbie a second time. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to maybe like halfway through with the book. I don't know, maybe I'll read some right now, or maybe I'll start doing this. Those are my plans for the day. And I will check in with you guys later to update you on readings and friendship bracelet making and all that sweet stuff. So yeah. Still at this table making friendship bracelets, but I swear that I have moved since you last saw me. So at 6 p.m. I had some reading sprints on my channel, like I had mentioned before, I think. And on those reading sprints, I ended up making a really big progress on my physical read Love in Color. So I think I was on page maybe 20, and now I'm on page 120. So I read 100 pages during the reading sprints, and yeah, it was pretty productive. I'm almost halfway done with the book. I don't think I will finish it today because I am focused on doing friendship bracelets and also listening to my audiobook. And yeah, I'm liking some of the stories so far, and something that I feel like should have been at the beginning of the book rather than the end of the book is the source of inspiration. I don't know if you can see that, but there's basically each story in this book is based on a mythological story from some country, from like Nigeria, Greece, Mali, China, so a bunch of different inspirations. And yeah, I feel like this is a really important part of this collection of short stories, so I felt like it should have been at the beginning of the book. I only stumbled upon this because I was looking for the acknowledgements, because I love reading acknowledgements of books. And also because I was not confused by the stories, but I just didn't know what the original story was. Since this is kind of retellings of stories, I was just trying to figure out if I knew any of the original tales. And I don't. I kind of know one because it's based in Greek mythology, but other than that, I just don't know any of the other sources of inspiration for these stories, but some of them I am actually really liking and some of them are just okay. But yeah, that was my progress with Love and Color. I'm probably gonna finish this in the next couple of days, I would say. So that is that, and I am also listening to the audiobook of Yes Daddy. I don't know if you can see that. I'm currently on chapter 20, and before the reading sprints, I was listening to the audiobook and doing friendship bracelets. And then afterwards I had dinner and I just watched some booktube videos for a while, and then now I'm back to audiobook and friendship bracelets. The combination is honestly fire, and I'm really liking listening to my audiobook and doing this. Before I show you the friendship bracelets that I have made so far, I want to talk about what I'm thinking of Yes Daddy. I feel like it's going in a direction that I like for the plot of the book, but at the same time there are so many really hard things in this book. And I just don't know if it's all necessary. I'm trying to talk about the book without giving any spoilers, but I just felt like some things could have been cut out from this book. It could have been a simpler story. But like I said, I'm liking the direction that the book is going, but at the moment, I'm kind of in the third act of the book, and I really don't know where it's headed, as in I don't know how this is going to end at all. I don't know if I would recommend this book to a lot of people because it's just very hard to read. Like I said, go look for the trigger warnings for this book. It has a lot of heavily graphic sexual assault scenes, so please beware. And yeah, but overall I guess enjoying it. I don't know, I think for now it's like a 3-star, but there was a point there where I really thought it was gonna go down to a 2.5 because I really didn't like where it was going, but now it's kind of like on track with what I envisioned for the stories. I think I still have an hour and a half left of the audiobook. I would like to finish it today, but I don't think I will. Maybe tomorrow in the early hours, and maybe I'll still count it for the July books because I mostly read it in July. So yeah, those are my updates in terms of books. Now, in terms of friendship bracelets, I can't really show you. Maybe I'll bring you closer so I can show you. So these are the friendship bracelets that I have made so far. This one was my first one, the Speak Now one. And it's actually pretty long. It looks really long on my wrist. Not that I have a super thin wrist, but I think I just overdid on the beads on the sides. But now I've learned my lesson, I guess. And yeah, then I did my Afterglow little bracelet, and honestly, I think I'm gonna keep this one. Afterglow is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite Taylor Swift song. And yeah, I just love how it turns out. I love these little different kind of like, I don't know, like little disc beads or whatever. They're kind of different from this one, if you can tell. So yeah, I really like this one. I think I'm gonna keep it. And then I did the Taylor Swift one, and I also did the Fearless one, and I'm actually doing a red bracelet right now. So I'm making one for each of the albums. I'm also gonna do some more songs, and I just want to do some also generic ones, like, I don't know, sing Taylor's version, and I don't know. And actually something that I really wanted to share so you guys won't make the same mistake when you order your stuff for the friendship bracelets is that I have a pack here with just letters, so from A to Z, and it doesn't come with numbers. And actually none of the packs, I bought 3 different sets of beads and none of them come with numbers, so I'm kind of fucked. I think I'm gonna have to buy like a separate one just for numbers, because I really thought that this one with all of the letters would have numbers, 1 or 2 or at least, but it doesn't have any. And also the bigger one that I got also doesn't have numbers. So I wanted to make, like I was telling you, I wanted to make a bracelet for each of the albums, but I can't do 1989 under these conditions. So yeah, whenever you order these stuff, make sure that you have numbers. I honestly didn't even think about it, and I also wanted to make bracelets for the concert that I'm going with, like the date. So that's also something else that I'm gonna use the numbers for. So yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a different thing for numbers, I guess, which is a bummer because I didn't want to spend more money on this. I already spent a stupid amount. Well, it's not stupid, and I'm having actually a lot of fun with this, so it's not stupid. I'm trying to justify it in my head. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to my audiobook and to finishing my red bracelet, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday, my dudes. I didn't update you guys yesterday because I honestly spent the whole day watching Schitt's Creek, and then at night I was with a friend, so I basically had no reading updates whatsoever. But today I do have some reading updates because this morning I went for a run, and while I was on that run and a little bit afterwards, I finished my audiobook, which was Yes Daddy by Jonathan Parks Ramage, and honestly, I don't know if I liked it. I ended up not giving it a rating on Goodreads because it just didn't feel right to give any rating to this book because I was just so confused with my thoughts on it, because I did really like some of the conversations that were in the book, especially about religious trauma, which is one of the main focuses of the book. And I really like that part because I love when books talk about religion, and especially in this book it's about the relationship between religion and queerness. And yeah, that part was really interesting, but then there were so many things that I just heavily disagreed with the decision of the author of putting it in. It really made me super uncomfortable to put so many rape scenes in the book, and it also made me uncomfortable to listen to them, and I just felt like I was reading a little life, you know? And also in terms of plot, I, in my last update, said I was liking the direction that the book was going in, but then I felt like it got lost a little bit in the middle, and I just felt like it went on for too long. The book is maybe too long. I felt like the book had potential, but it just kind of lost itself, and it was trying to do a lot of things at once, and I really don't like when I finish a book and I get that feeling from the book. So yeah, no rating for me. I will be discussing this book with Casey because this is our book club pick for July. Was for July, it's already August, but yeah, that was our book club pick. We're gonna be discussing it this month, so look out for our live discussion here on my channel if you want to know more of our thoughts. I'm really curious to see what Casey thinks of this book, to be honest. And after that audiobook, I decided to pick up another audiobook, and I decided to go with a book that I've had saved for a really long time, and I feel like if it's done well, I'm really gonna like this book. And it's Drinking Games, a memoir by Sarah Levy. And this is a memoir about the author's experience with alcohol, and just there was a point in her life where she decided to give up alcohol and focus on her sobriety for a number of reasons. And I'm still on chapter 2, I think, so I only listened to the first chapter, but I'm really liking it so far. And I just think this is probably going to be a very interesting book, and it's maybe going to make me reanalyze my relationship with alcohol. Not that I have a bad relationship with it. I drink occasionally, but I just can't imagine, and maybe this is something that I will evaluate, but some social interactions I just can't imagine without alcohol. And that maybe needs to change in my brain, and maybe this book will help me with that. So that is the audiobook that I'm currently listening. And as for physical reads, I am still with Love in Color, and I am still pretty much halfway. I read a couple more pages since I last updated you, but today it is my mission to maybe finish this book, because this is such an easy read. Like on my reading sprints, I read basically half of the book, and it was only like an hour and a half that I read. So I think finishing this today is very achievable, especially because I just have nothing to do, basically. It's kind of bad to say this because I am working remotely, but there's just no work because everyone is on vacation, and I really was kind of like sad about the fact that I wouldn't have summer vacation during the month of July and August, and I would be working full time the whole 2 months. I had to change my battery, but as I was saying, I just have no work to do because everyone's off, my manager is off, and I just have nothing to do. Like, I've already done everything that I had to do, so now I'm just like, I have very minor tasks that I need to do daily and some meetings that I need to attend, but other than that, I'm just like sitting at home. That's why I've been watching so many episodes of Schitt's Creek, and that is why I think I can finish the book today, because I just have no other meetings, and yeah, I'm gonna read. I really hope no people from work find my channel and watch this vlog. If you are from my company, I am working, I swear. But anyway, yeah, that is my mission for today, is to finish this book, because honestly, I am liking it, but I just want to read something different. I want to pick up a new book. So for the rest of my working day, I will read, and then I have to cat sit my sister's cat for a few hours, and I also am going to bring my book and read it there with her cat. And yeah, it's gonna be a great time. And maybe once I finish this book, I will watch a movie, because I've been meaning to watch the new, well, it's not really new, but like the newest Black Panther movie, which came out a year ago or more. I've been meaning to watch that for a really long time, and I still haven't. And I have Disney Plus, and I really have no excuse. So I think I'm gonna watch that today. I feel like watching a Marvel movie. So yeah, I'm gonna go read now, so bye! I honestly wish I had the patience to put on a full face of makeup, because I don't like looking like this in all of my vlog clips, but it is what it is, I guess. I am just at home, so I'm not gonna bother. So, updates on my reading. Yesterday I did finish Love in Color by Bolu Babalola, and I did like it. I think it's either a 3 or a 3.5. And I guess the reason for my lack of enjoyment, I still enjoyed it, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it a little bit more if I knew the original myths that these stories were based on. And since I didn't know them, and I only found out about the names of them kind of halfway through the book, but still, like, I read the titles like I showed you last time, and I only knew one of the stories. The other ones I just had no clue what they were about. And at the end, I also noticed and read the author's notes, and the author's notes kind of explains a little bit more about the original myths, which was interesting. It doesn't explain all of them, and I kind of wish that this information was at the beginning of the book, because like it's not usual for me to just like go to the last couple of pages of the book just to kind of like see what's going on there. But still, I really enjoyed it. I think my favorite stories were Psyche, Sia, Nefertiti. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, there were a couple of stories that I really did enjoy. Some others were just kind of a miss for me, and I didn't really understand the point of them, but maybe it has to do with the original myth, which I just don't know about. So I'm not becoming a romance girly, but I feel like I'm enjoying romance books a lot more this year. I don't know why, I just have no explanation for that. And now for physical reads, I already know which book I'm picking up, but I still wanted to show you the three books that I'm planning on reading this month. And yeah, yesterday I ended up picking one to kind of start. I still haven't started yet, but I will now probably. But the books that I probably will read in the month of August are Ani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating by Deepa Jargadar, and also Outline by Rachel Cusk. I just feel like this has a summery vibe. Maybe it's the cover, obviously. So I wanted to read this during the summer. I don't know. I don't even know what it talks about, but yeah. And the other one, which is actually the one that I'm probably picking up now, which is maybe a risk picking up this type of book right now, but yeah, I'm picking up Persuasion by Jane Austen. I haven't read a classic in a really long time. I actually don't know what was the last classic I read, but yeah, I'm picking up Persuasion. I still haven't read it, and this is a pretty short classic, so that's why I'm picking it up. I have no idea what this book talks about, and I haven't read a Jane Austen since I read Emma. I think I read it 2 years ago, last year. I think it was during the summer as well, but I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. And I did enjoy that one. And I've also read Pride and Prejudice, which I desperately need to reread because I read it multiple years ago. I don't even remember if I enjoyed it at the time, honestly. Yeah, now I'm going to read Persuasion. I am hesitant to pick this up because I usually don't have the best experience with classics. I just can't get into them, reading them physically especially, so I usually end up picking the audiobook, but this time I'm like kind of gonna force myself to read this physically. And yeah, I think I'm actually going to start reading this now. Have nothing to do. Oh, and also before I forget, I have been listening to my audiobook as well, Drinking Games, and I am liking it. I'm like maybe 25% of the way through. I listened to it on my walk this morning and I am liking it, but we're reaching a point in the story where alcohol is not really mentioned anymore. I just listened to a chapter that was about like influencer culture and it had nothing to do with alcohol. So I was really confused by that decision, and I'm kind of scared that the rest of the book is not gonna talk about alcohol, because I feel like we've learned a lot of the journey of Sarah Levy with alcohol already, and I'm only 25% in, so I'm kind of scared since she's kind of like derailing towards other issues. They are interesting, but they're not what I'm looking for in this book. So yeah, I'm kind of scared about that, but I'm gonna keep listening to it. But right now, I'm gonna go read a little bit of this and see if I can get into it easily, hopefully so. Hello, I haven't vlogged in a couple of days and I want to kind of close out this vlog, so I'm just gonna give you all of my reading updates from the last few days. And I was actually going to start this update by saying that I haven't been reading much, but in the last few days I actually read a whole book, so I guess I have been reading. That is a lie. And actually, now that I think of it, I also finished my audiobook, so that's 2 books that I finished in the last couple of days. So yeah, that's great. So first of all, the audiobook, I was reading Drinking Games by Sarah Levy, and I did like it, but like I said before, there were some topics that she approached that I feel like didn't really relate to drinking in any way, and then they were just kind of like there. And the topics were interesting, but they kind of didn't relate back to alcohol in any way, so I was kind of confused by that decision. But I did enjoy the book, but also something that I was then reading afterwards in some reviews on Goodreads that I do agree, and I did kind of notice that while listening to the audiobook, that Sarah Levy clearly had a privileged upbringing. Like, she mentions a lot of parties with like really rich friends, and she grew up in Manhattan, and there were just so many hints at that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but she never really addressed it. And I think it would have been better if she had said something about that instead of dropping hints that she had a really privileged life and she had no problem with money, and obviously alcohol and money are interlinked, so she could have done a whole chapter about that and about her experiences with money. So yeah, I feel like that's something that she could have touched on, and she decided to not touch on it, and it was just kind of a weird decision not to. It was a 4-star for me. It was nice. I think there were some very interesting ideas that she brought to the table in terms of drinking and alcohol that I had never thought of prior, but there were some things that I was just kind of confused by. So yeah, that was my audiobook. Right now I actually still haven't picked up a new audiobook to listen to, so I'm still kind of in between things. And for my physical books, I told you in my last clip that I was going to read Persuasion by Jane Austen, and I am still, I think, on chapter 4, so I'm on page 27, and I know that I'm going to probably take the whole month to read this book, so I decided to pick up another book while I'm reading this one, so having like 2 books at the same time. And I decided to start Hani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating by Ajiba Jargadar, and I actually finished that in like a day and a half. And I really like this book. So this is about Ani and Ishu. Ani is bisexual, and she has just come out to her best friends, and her best friends are kind of skeptical about her being bisexual, and so Ani decides to kind of tell her friends that she's dating a girl who is Ishu. And Ishu is kind of an overachiever. She loves studying and she loves having good grades, and she really wants to prove herself to her parents because her parents have compared her to her older sister her whole life. And when Ani approaches Ishu and says, "Oh, I kind of told my best friends that we're dating," Ishu is kind of like, "Oh, Ani is popular and she knows a lot of popular people, so maybe she can also help me with trying to be the head girl of, I think, her year or high school. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what being head girl entails. But yeah, she wants to be head girl. Honey maybe can help her with like getting her more popularity, and Ishu can help Ani by proving to her best friends that she is bisexual and she's dating a girl, and they just have to deal with that. And yeah, this was a really fun book. I love the bisexual representation in this, obviously, and it was just so quick and easy to read. Really, overall, really like this. I like that the 2 main characters are Bengali and one of them is Muslim, and we see a lot of how that impacts her life. And honestly, fake dating is not a trope that I usually love to see in stories. I don't know why, it just kind of makes me uncomfortable maybe, but in this one I just really liked the fake dating, and I loved Ani and Ishu and getting to know them and then them falling in love, and it was just a really cutesy, fun romance for the summer. It's not set during the summer, but I just loved reading this during the summer. I actually read most of it outside by the pool, and it was just so nice. So yeah, in the meantime, while I was reading Persuasion, I was also reading this. And now for physical reads, you're not going to see it in this vlog because this vlog is going to end right now, but I'm going to read Outline by Rachel Cusk next. And yeah, I'm excited. I have no idea what this talks about, but I love the cover and I've heard a lot of great things, so that is good. And before I go, just something that I wanted to update you guys on, because at the start of this vlog, I started making friendship bracelets like a week ago, I think exactly. I started making them, and this is the progress so far. I have made so many friendship bracelets, and I actually have some that are like saved because I want to keep them, but these are the ones that I'm willing to trade. I've been having so much fun doing this while watching TV shows. I watched Heartstopper, the full new season, which was amazing, chef's kiss. These are going to be probably traded during a Taylor Swift party that I'm going next week. And then afterwards I'm gonna focus on doing bracelets for my May concert, which is just crazy because it's, I don't even know how many months away, but I just want to start doing it in advance and do a bunch of them and kind of experiment with colors and just everything. I am definitely in my bracelets era. I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!